Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a brand new Doctor Who topic video for today. So for this Doctor Who video, I'm going to be discussing the second Doctor and what I think the second Doctor is the definitive version of the 60s out of all of the Doctors. I physically really enjoy Troughton a lot more than William Hartnell's Doctor. I mean, if you were going to say, oh, the recurring villains for the first Doctor, it's only just technically the Daleks, and of course, in the 60th anniversary, we do have the return of the Celestial Toymaker, which is a Hartnell villain. But that's mainly it, the Daleks and, the Celestial Toymaker. Where if you look at Troughton and how many iconic monsters he fought against, like the Cybermen, yes, he did fought against the Daleks, but they're mainly a Hartnell villain out of the 60s. But we had Cybermen, we had the Macra, we had Ice Warriors, and these are the ones that basically are still featured in the show. I mean, the Ice Warriors basically returned for Series 7 and, of course, Series 10. When the Macra returned in Series 3, but the Cybermen, they've been in it for a very long time. People think the Cybermen are mainly a Hartnell kind of villain, but nobody has basically defeated the Cybermen so many times like Troughton did. Again and again, he is just proving to be fantastic. I mean, there's something about Troughton's performance. It's very facial, expression, especially in Evil of the Daleks. In Evil of the Daleks, and the Dalek just comes through the door going, "Doctor, no, you understand." And Troughton's just like, yes, very much so. And there's his other expressions like, "Oh my giddy aunt. Oh my word." I really do enjoy Troughton's time as the second Doctor, because I really do think Troughton is literally the best 60s Doctor. I'm going to be honest, he's actually my third favourite incarnation of the Doctor. If you throw anything with Troughton with me, I probably will enjoy it. I mean, I don't really care for the Dominators, but I still watch it because it's a Troughton story, where if you watch, say, something like from the Tom Baker era, I really hesitate to go back and revisit the Leisure Hive or Underworld or, what was it, the Warrior's Gate. He did used to be Destiny of the Daleks, but Destiny of the Daleks has really, really grown on me over the last year since season 17 came out in 2021. So since 2021, Destiny of the Daleks have really grown on me over the last year. But I'm going to say Troughton is definitely the definitive version of the Doctor. Out of all of the Doctors that I think are definitely the definitive, I'm going to say I actually think there are 5 definitive incarnations of the Doctor. We have Tom Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Patrick Troughton, Peter Capaldi, and Paul McGann. I really consider these Doctors to be the definitive version of the Doctor. Yes, I do enjoy Paul McGann from Big Finish. As you can see, my lovely Big Finish CD collection over here. I really have explored more with the 8th Doctor from Big Finish, and I have to admit, the 8th Doctor has really became one of my all-time favourite incarnations of the Doctor into Big Finish to make it into my top 5. But Troughton did something so brilliant that was not so different from William Hartnell's time as the Doctor. I mean, William Hartnell, yes, he started off as this old, grumpy old man, where Troughton basically played the opposite. He was cunning, He was actually more cunning than Hartnell, because he pretended to act like a fool to trick all of his villains, and then he is the most cleverest man in the room. That's Troughton. I mean, literally. If you watch him in his performance and he's there trying to act like the fool, but then when the plot gets into the actual thing, like the story gets into the actual plot, Troughton is basically on the ball. He knows what's going on. He's in the situation. He's going to fix the situation. He's going to take Ben or Polly, Jamie, Victoria, Zoe into the TARDIS, into the next adventure. I just really enjoyed the 60s so much more with Patrick Troughton's Doctor than with William Hartnell's Doctor. Nothing to do with the first Doctor, because I do actually enjoy the first Doctor. He's my 8th favourite Doctor. He's in 8th place for me out of all the Doctors. I really do enjoy Hartnell's time, but I just really prefer Troughton more as the Doctor. So I really see Troughton as the definitive version of the Doctor from the 60s. If I was going to say some of the villains that basically have returned from the Troughton era, we have got the Macra, we got Cybermats, we have the Cyber Planner. A cyber controller was really firstly introduced in this era, in the second Doctor's era. We have the Ice Warriors, and some of these things are still in Doctor Who today. I mean, in Series 7, we had the return of the Ice Warriors, as well as as the Cyber Planner, introducing the Cybermats again in Series 6. So we still kind of have echoes stuff from the second Doctor's era being like main focus into the Matt Smith era, basically. I really do enjoy the second Doctor's era. It is phenomenal, and the fact that Troughton is the most actor to come back and play the role, not only once, not twice, but 3 times in the classic era to come back and just carry on with the role. He played the second Doctor again in, of course, in the 3 Doctors, in my all-time favourite multi-Doctor special, The 5 Doctors, in 1983, and in 1985. He came back 2 years after the 5 Doctors to do the 2 Doctors with Colin Baker, and he is the best thing out of that story. Apart from the Santarans, the second Doctor and the Santarans are so much better than the 6th Doctor in his actual own story, and the second Doctor is basically out of time. I really, really enjoy Troughton's performance. The way you kind of see him argue with John Pertwee, which is absolutely phenomenal, which is why Pertwee is, of course, my 6th favourite Doctor. I really enjoy every performance of each actor that plays the Doctor, but for me, Troughton is the main second actor to play the Doctor, and he has so much. I really do think other Doctors have kind of built up around Troughton, really. If I was going to say a couple, I think the 4th Doctor had a bit of the second Doctor in him. You know, I really think the 11th Doctor had so much echoes of the second Doctor in him as well. If I was going to say probably my favourite Patrick Troughton stories, and to be honest with you, you're going to understand why, because there is Power of the Daleks, there's the Macra Terror, there's the Moon Base, there's the Eve of the Daleks, and that is just from season 4. Season 5, we have the Tomb of the Salmon, which I really think is a classic Salmon story, and I really do enjoy Tomb of the Salmon. We have the Abominable Snowman, which introduces the Great Intelligence, and yes, the Great Intelligence has actually returned into Modern Who with Matt Smith's Doctor. I forgot to say that one. But we had the Robot Yetis, we had units introduction story in the second Doctor's era. We have so much to say thank you to the second Doctor. He created units, you know, we had Nicholas Courtney playing Brigadier Alice Lethbridge Stewart for him in, you know, in the Web of Fear, and then of course in the Invasion, and the Brigadier became more associated with the 3rd Doctor, and then the 4th Doctor, and then the 5th Doctor, and the 7th Doctors, and then of course in Modern Who, his daughter has basically encountered the War Doctor, the 10th Doctor, the 11th Doctor, the 12th Doctor, the 13th Doctor. Not too sure on the 14th Doctor yet, that does depend on the specials, but we know that she's actually going to encounter the 15th Doctor. You know, so really, out of the Brigadier family, they're both out of the Brigadier and his own daughter, they've actually encountered most of incarnations of the Doctor, more than most anybody else in the universe. I really do enjoy the second Doctor's run because he is just superb. He's absolutely brilliant in the role. I really like him in the War Games where he's trying to explain why he left Gallifrey, saying he was bored. What do you mean you were bored? Well, here was a time. You know, I really love the way the second Doctor is so performed by the great Patrick Troughton. And this is why I think the second Doctor is the definitive version of the 60s incarnations of the Doctor. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of the second Doctor's era? What's your favourite stories from the second Doctor's era? Please let me know. Please do like, subscribe and share and join for more awesome Doctor Who content. Thank you for watching and have a classic day.